Between Two Worlds. What's this story about? Oh, what worlds are we talking about? Let's find out. Thank you, Stephen Rabely. What's happening in this picture? Joanna Jimbuku is a nurse. She lives and works in North Australia. Her boss is Bob Mills, a flying doctor. He and Joanna go everywhere in the Bluebird. Oh, I see. Bob's plane. One morning in August, Joanna answers the phone. Hello, she says. Dr. Mills' office? Then, a baby? Yes, I see. Oh, and you're in I don't know how to say. Woomera. Okay. We can be there in half an hour. Ooh, half an hour? By car? I don't think so. Oh, look at that view. Five minutes later, Joanna and Bob are in the Bluebird. How old is the baby? Asked Bob. 18 months, says Joanna. After a moment, Bob looks at her. Woomera's near your hometown, isn't it? Yes, that's right, Joanna smiles. It's a very small place. She looks out the window. There it is, she says. Can you see? Between those trees and the river? Can you see? Where is it? Can you see? Between the trees, I'm not sure I see. Okay. Oh, can I hear? Here we go. Oh. Baby gonna be okay? Down on the ground, 8 or 9 people are waiting for the flying doctor. They take him and Joanna to a small house. The baby's mother, Jane, is inside it. Bob looks at the little girl for 20 minutes. Then he says, I'm sorry, but Mary is very, very ill. It's her heart. She must go to a hospital in Sydney. Sydney, says Jane. Boy. Imagine having to go on a plane if you're sick to go to the hospital. Aha. Yes, Bob puts his hand on the woman's arm, but it's okay. You can go with her. Jane looks sad. How? I've got 6 children. I just can't leave them. Suddenly, Joanna has an idea. Wait a minute, she says. Why don't I go to Sydney with Mary? After all, I'm on holiday for 2 weeks after today. Good idea, says the flying doctor. They look at Jane. Okay, she says. Okay, so Joanna's going, and there they are. The doctor's office, I guess. 24 hours later, Joanna arrives in Sydney for the first time. 2 nurses are waiting at the airport, and they drive her and Mary very fast to a big hospital. Then they take Mary into room 308. A doctor is waiting there. Hello, he says. My name's Paul Griffin. Joanna smiles at him. Hello. Then she asks the nurses, can I help? Joanna spends all day at the hospital, but after 8 hours, she's very tired, and Paul Griffin sees this, the doctor sees this. Why don't you stay with me and my wife tonight, he asks. Well, thanks, says Joanna. That's really nice of you. At 6 o'clock, she and Paul drive to his house, and there, Joanna meets Paul's wife. Oh, I see, this is Paul's wife. Okay. His wife, Fran, her name is. She meets their daughter, too. Her name is Polly. After dinner, Paul shows Joanna to her room, and Joanna sits on the bed. Is Mary going to be okay, she asks. I don't know, Paul replies. Then he says, but we're going to do everything we can. After that, Joanna goes to the hospital every day. She helps the nurses and sits beside Mary's bed. For 3 days, nothing happens. Is the baby going to be okay? Oh my gosh. Oh. Something tells me baby's gonna be okay. Then, one afternoon, Joanna is reading a book in room 308, and suddenly she hears a noise. What's that? She thinks. Then she hears it again. Mama. Oh, Mama. She stands up and walks to Mary's bed. Mary, it's you! You're sitting up! You're talking! She runs out of the room and finds Paul. Quick, Dr. Griffin, she says. It's Mary, come and see. Oh, so, they're going out afterwards. Where's that place? Later that day, Joanna telephones Bob Mills. Yes, that's right. Mary's going to be okay, she says with a big smile. I can bring her home next week. That evening, the Griffins take Joanna to an expensive restaurant. Joanna sits next to the window outside. She can see the lights of Sydney. This is beautiful, she says. Yes. What is that building? Next morning at breakfast, Paul says, Joanna, you can stay here at home today. After all, Mary's okay now. No thanks, says Joanna. I want to be with her. At the hospital, Paul sees Sister Clark. One of my girls is leaving next week and we need someone new, she says. What about Joanna Jimbuku? She's a very good nurse. Do you think she wants a job here? Oh my goodness. Ooh, changing jobs? From the outback to Sydney? Me, says Joanna. That evening, she looks at Paul. Why not, he says. After all, Sister Clark's right. You're a very good nurse. Joanna's quiet. Don't say anything now, Paul tells her. Just think about it. That's all I'm asking. He walks away, then turns. But not for too long, okay? Okay, what's Joanna going to do? Is she going to move to Sydney? Work in the big hospital there? The next day is Saturday, and Joanna goes to the hospital and sees Mary. Hello, little one, she says. You're going home on Monday. Then she thinks, or are we going home? 2 hours later, Fran and Polly, so the doctor's wife, meet Joanna. Oh, Polly's the daughter, is that right? But, yeah, okay. Fran and Polly meet Joanna for lunch. Oh, Joanna, you are going to stay in Sydney, aren't you? Says Polly. Please stay. Okay. And Joanna says, I don't know, says Joanna. Joanna's walking around here, downtown. Later in the afternoon, Joanna goes for a long walk. The weather's hot. She watches the people in the streets. She looks at the shops, cinemas, and museums, and theaters too. Sydney's great, she thinks. It's beautiful, and there's a lot to see and do. But I really want to live. But do I really want to live here? That's the question. Oh, there's an art picture. Oh, from what is this? What is this place in the middle of Australia? What's that called? Across the street, there's a shop window, and Joanna turns to look at it. She can see a big painting of some red hills. Wait a minute, she thinks. I know that place. It's near, is it Woomera? Woomera. 10 minutes later, a man comes out of the shop. Are you okay, he asks. Joanna smiles. Her eyes are wet. Wet? Why are her eyes? Oh, I see why her eyes are wet. Yes, she says. I'm fine. Really, I'm fine. Do we know what Joanna's going to do? 2 days later, Bob gets into the Bluebird, and Joanna is with him, and she waves goodbye to Jane and Mary. Bob starts the plane and pushes his hat back. Listen, thanks for everything, Joanna, he says. In Sydney, I mean, it's a beautiful city, isn't it? Joanna looks at the red hills of Woomera. Then she smiles too. Yes, she says, but it's good to be home. So we understand what her decision is? Yeah, it's good to be home. Yeah, in the back here, there's some questions, and there's a list here. Do you know where these places are? Where are Melbourne and Sydney and Perth and Adelaide and Hobart and Darwin and Brisbane? Melbourne and Sydney and Perth and Adelaide and Hobart and Darwin and Brisbane. Can you match them? Look on a map. You can do it. Do your best. Right. Thank you.